Hey hosts, this video is pricing strategy tips that you cannot get unless you see inside of other people's listings. Recently, I launched Revande, and I am learning so much because I'm seeing hundreds of listings from all around the world, and I get to see and I get to share with you the relationship between a listing and its price performance and everything that goes in the middle. Listings that are too nice and too cheap, listings that have bad marketing, listings that they don't ever change their rates enough. I've touched so many listings with so many different problems that I promise you this video will have something for you. Because listings come in all shapes and sizes, so pricing strategy is not a one-size-fits-all. The first thing that I realized is that some of your listings aren't just a little too cheap, they are way too cheap. One of my Revande clients has a final click-through percentage, the very last number in all the data points that you get in conversion, of over 16%. And if you've seen any of my videos on the Airbnb algorithm, that number is optimal between 2.5 and 5%. If it's over 5%, you have room to raise your prices. Over 16% is astronomically high. And the reason why this means you can raise your prices, I think that's what's important for you. I'd like you all to go look at this data point, and if this number is over 5%, what happens when you raise your price is the number will start to go below 5%. Because at some point, somebody clicks on your listing, and they don't like what they see for the price, and so they buy less frequently. But because thousands of people see your listing, some will say yes and some will say no. If this number is over 5%, that means that you are converting such a high percentage of people that you are overbooking. And this is actually shown true with this gentleman's listing. He is booked 7 or 9 months in advance. And if he raised his prices, he would get booked less often, and he would get booked still 100% by the end of the day. It would just take his whole calendar year to get there. Instead of people pre-purchasing his listing 6 months plus in advance, he would get a healthier distribution of bookings at a higher ADR. So look at your conversion data, and if the second and fourth number are both too high, you can raise your prices. The second number is your algorithm health score. Between 52 and 60% is good, over 60 is great, and over 65, you're too cheap. That last number, anything between 2.5 and 5% is good, over 5%, raise your prices. Now, by the way, I have a whole book on pricing strategy. I need to let you know. It's out April 14th, the Revenue Manager's Handbook. I will be doing a book signing tour in major cities all over the country. Get your copy and get ready. I'll let you know when I'm in a town near you, and we can have a conversation. I'll sign the book. If you love revenue management, this book will be for you. I've spent 3 years writing it. It's 262 pages of everything you need to know. And when I say everything, I mean it's absolutely everything. It's not a picture book. This is my brainchild. This is massive value. Get your book. It's printed. It's ready to go. I'm so excited to share this with you, by the way. The second thing Revande has taught me about price, and I think this will be valuable for you, is so many people price emotionally. This gentleman with the 16% final conversion, he's one of these examples. He is afraid that he's not going to get enough bookings. So when we raised his prices and he didn't get any new bookings for 3 weeks, he thought something was wrong. And I had to tell him, hey, when you raise your rates, your bookings will change and you're overbooked. We need to normalize. And there are other people in Revande who have similar things. They're afraid of requiring a 4-night minimum for extremely high occupancy days. They are afraid of lowering their prices last minute on low occupancy weekdays or raising their rates too much and just blowing out the market. They're afraid of the volatility that comes with this industry. But I will tell you, the fact that everybody's on Price Labs or Wheelhouse or another software, the fact that everybody's plugged into stuff that moves up and moves down kind of in a cadence or a rhythm means that us, you and I, if we really want to outperform a market, we have to look at that software to see where everyone else is, and then we deviate from there, which means we hold our price higher than everybody else in peak season, let everybody get booked. And then when all the good stuff is gone, and you're the only listing left, aside from overpriced stuff and ugly stuff, a new customer, when they land on the Airbnb site, they're only going to see in context of what remains. They're not going to see that 6 weeks ago, there was good listings at a good price. Those are invisible now, which means you get to make a different value proposition, 6 weeks delayed, and you make way more money. This is an example of holding out on price in peak season. We have to do the opposite in slow season. And I know a lot of you might be afraid to do what it takes to optimize your rates because you actually have to disagree with Price Labs and Wheelhouse because everybody else is using Price Labs and Wheelhouse. The third thing is blowing my mind, by the way, is that Price Labs is wrong. Not in the way that I just told you, but let me visualize this for you. Look at the screen, okay? There are charts in neighborhood data that show occupancy up and down. And those numbers might be as low as 30%, they might be as high as 99%, wild swings. I have a client who in a market where the market occupancy goes up to say 55%, he's like, we're always booked. Don't drop our prices here because we're always booked in a market that's 52% occupied. And you know what? His listings are nice, but they're not like that nice. And through this experience of dialing in his rates, I've learned something crazy. Market dynamics are way more wild than I ever thought they could be. Now, I will admit that I've always carried some biases to how I do price because I'm a US-based host, right? I'm highly urban, very few houses, mostly apartments for most of my career. Now that I coach students in 43 countries, I've seen all sorts of stuff, all sorts of walks of life. But this guy is still just a wild example of how the data on Price Labs could make you think one thing is true, but relative to the market, his property, even being like an 8.5 out of 10, is still guaranteed bookings at 52% occupancy. I was absolutely floored that that's the case. So when you go to market with a pricing plan, you should look at your competition. You should look at the market for the quality in the market. Not just what Price Labs says, because Price Labs could say that the market's going to be 90% occupied, but in a place like Miami or Nashville, that might still not be strong enough. But in a market like St. Louis, Missouri, 90% occupied, if your listing's half good, you're cranking. So always look at your pricing strategy through the lens of your competition. Now, some of this is repeated information. If you've been a fan of this channel for a while, I hope you've gotten a lot of value on this channel, by the way. We talk about using a wish list so that way you can track your competition. I think this is still super valid, and this is a good example of getting that context. If you can't choose what your price should be for a Saturday, let's say July 4th is coming up, you can make a wish list of all of your real competition. Ignore all the little properties, ignore all the massive ones, ignore the ugly properties if your property is nice. Whatever truly exists for you, like whoever your real competition is, and then search for 4th of July. And what you'll see is 40 listings handpicked by you, so you know that they're the right listings, and you'll see what people's prices are, and you'll see who is booked. That context matters, because here's two examples. Let's say 4th of July is coming up and all of the good listings are booked. You're left, there's 8 or 10 listings that are kind of bottom of the bucket for your wish list. That means you're the best listing on the wish list. Your prices can stay high. You're the best option, and if anybody wants anything nice, they have to pick you, because all the other stuff is gone. But also, let's reverse that. Let's say that all the good, expensive stuff is still there. The quality listings are there. All the cheapest listings are gone. That means that people are traveling for 4th of July, but they're like budget constrained, and there's not a lot of action yet, and no one wants to spend money. That means if you want to get a booking, and it doesn't look like 4th of July is going to have high demand, you've taken all the data that you have, you will have to price under the expensive listings that you're competing against. So this is two different strategies based on what remains in your wish list. Use that, and I promise it will always be your tiebreaker when you don't know what to do with your strategy. Recommend that one. This 4th one, I don't think I should tell you, right? Because I've got this policy of not teaching people who could use Revande how to not use Revande anymore, but this is powerful stuff, and if you do this right, you won't need me. There is something that I'm calling the algorithm crush. It's a new move that I came up with Price Labs. If you go down to the occupancy chart on neighborhood data, you will see that there's a green little indicator that's called pickup. There's going to be a gray solid line that's last year's occupancy, and there's a red solid line that's this year's occupancy. There's a lot about this. I'm not going to over-explain, but you get those three by going to the chart options in the top right and selecting in the occupancy thing, just turn on every box. Now, green is momentum if people are starting to book. What's important for you to look at is how far in the future does green actually start happening? Because some markets, that green line is flat, nothing. And then you start to see little ticks of green, which means there's booking activity. And what we tend to find, this is what I believe, okay, is that certain markets will always have booking patterns that are a certain distance into the future. And you would love to know what this heartbeat is. So some markets, like Manila, Philippines, nothing until 40 days, and then crank. All of a sudden, bookings happen. So the green line starts to go like this, and then the gray and the red line start to take off like a plane. That's Manila. But then other markets that are like super, like a travel destination, maybe somewhere like Scottsdale or Coeur d'Alene or Park City, Utah. 9 months in advance, you'll see some green, and then you see the red and gray lines come up and then flat line, which means that the bookings happen like 6 to 9 months in advance or something like that. And then there's nothing between 6 months and 3 months because the occupancy is flatlined, right? But then at 3 months, you see another thing where it starts to climb again. So you notice that there's 2 windows of time that people choose to book. There's the hyper future planners, and then there's the last minute drive. And so what you can do is you can take advantage of Airbnb's new algorithmic like tracking where they want to prevent you from gaming the system. So they track what your prices actually are over the last 60 days. And then if your rates are lower than the last 60 days, they will give you a boost in the algorithm. If you're raising your rates, they'll mark against you. And for more about this, I do have a video about the algorithm. It's a deep dive. You know, it's one of my favorite topics. I'll link it at the end of this video to catch you up on the algorithm. But the thing that I'm trying to tell you you can do is you can look for these windows of dates when people actually do start to book, where if there's no green activity, you can be overpriced. No one's looking anyway, but Airbnb is. And then before people start to book and that green line happens, you drive your rates down. So what happens is your price comes into a bookable price. Airbnb thinks you're cheap and you skyrocket to the top of the algorithm at exactly the days that matter. Because 11 months from now, no one cares. Airbnb cares for some reason, but no one else cares. So use this algorithmic crush, which is timing your discounts into a booking window that people care about, and you get to take advantage of an algorithm boost while maintaining the same price you wanted all of the time. And the fifth one, my friends, this is great for debugging. If you have revenue problems, okay, first, let me also please ask you to subscribe. You know, it's a lot of work over here, giving you guys the value. So welcome to the family. If you subscribe, thanks. What you can do is you can look at your past data on Price Labs, which you can get this data for free. I'm going to leave a link down below. Sign up for Price Labs. Don't pay them, okay? They're probably going to be mad I said that, but don't pay them. Just connect your Airbnb account and the data comes in. And you can look at your past bookings at the end of the occupancy chart, at the end of your price chart, you're going to see these blue dashes. Go to chart options again and turn those on, okay? Those blue dashes tell you what your bookings were 3 months ago, 4 months ago, 5. And what you will see is your prices and you'll see the gaps. And you can use this data to debug what goes wrong in your market. A lot of people that have come onto Revande, they get good prices for like a day or two, and then there's nothing, which means that they get no weekday bookings because they've traded away high occupancy Saturdays for a 1 or 2 night stay. And if you have a high occupancy Saturday, like 95% occupied in your market, you could force people to book a 4-day stay. You could hold the day hostage. And this is just one example of looking back at the data, looking at what the market tends to do because of what happened with your bookings, and then you know what the risks of a pricing strategy are. I know the risks for this person is that if I let them get booked on the weekend at all, the odds of getting weekdays booked out the window, which means for that client, I have to find a way to get their weekdays booked first or with the weekend. That's what I have to do for that client. Now, for more debugging, you will want the Revenue Manager's Handbook. It's going to teach you everything you need to know to do your own prices. If you're not the reading type, I will manage your prices for you at Revande. There will be a link down below as well. Thank you so much for watching this video. I promised you an algorithm video next. Watch that, and I'll see you on the other side.